This almost didn't make it onto the channel. If there's even a single trace of modern thinking in a character's response, it gets cut. Before anything leaves the lab, here are the things I'm looking for. I'm looking for plausibility, consistency, period language, social coherence, and marked inference. When I ask a question inside this system, I don't know what's going to come back. My role isn't to perform history, it's to step into this character's world and ask a plausible question and see whether the response holds. What you're seeing here on the screen is a chat interface with our ancestor persona called William Price. He's a Welsh coal miner, and the time period in which we are interviewing William is around 1880. As you can see, we've got a question here. Do you ever get time away from the pit? The pit being the coal mine that William's working in. And when you do, what does that time mean to you? So every interaction is basically, in my mind, a test. I'm looking at those 5 things every single time. If I scroll through the response from William here, I'm doing a quick scan. I'm not called Sunday for chapel mostly, so he's getting a day off. I rise from dawn most mornings. Okay, he chats about his wife and children getting ready. There is a marker here against when old Morgan lost his boy. Okay, we'll have a look at that in a bit. And then he talks about coming home after chapel. Names his children. Again, we've got some markers in the text there that we'll explain in a second. And he finishes with quite a nice comment. It's tending to what keeps a man human. The first thing I'm going to do is check the validity or not of did they actually get time off. So typically what I'll do is ask the question. I use ChatGPT quite a lot now for searches, or Google's AI interface as well. Okay, we have a comprehensive response here. Let's go to the National Coal Mining Museum. First reference. There we go. Many families work for up to 12 hours each day and for 6 days a week. The only days off would be Sundays and holy days like Christmas and Easter. The next thing I'd look at are the inference markers and provenance markers. The provenance markers are the P's. William here is talking about Anne, Griffith, which are children, and Mary, his mother. If I hover over this, we get where that source came from. Basically, this is ancestry factual information that has been loaded as part of the setup of this persona. When William references anything in his conversation or response with me, anything that is derived from proper historical records are marked as such, and I can check that. So the next thing is what we call inference markers. If I hover over an inference, the AI system, which is behind the persona, generated a plausible narrative event. This is a thing that I almost went, when old Morgan lost his boy in a fall at Bedwellty. If the inference marker hadn't been there, I would have rejected this or needed to make some adjustments to William's persona to make sure that it didn't hallucinate things that weren't narratively plausible. It's marking out things that would have happened, plausibly. Of course, there are accidents in coal pits. The persona filled in the gaps here and made an inference. So we can see immediately here what are inferences and what are actual facts. The next thing I look at is period language. If I go through the air in a man's lungs after he's been breathing coal dust for 6 days, very plausible. There's no modern psychology type language. There's no modern political comments on Labour and how challenging things are from our perspective. Those moments, they're worth more than any wages, though a man doesn't often say such things out loud. Again, plausible language for someone of that era. I'm checking tone, vocabulary, emotional framing. Does this sound like someone from 1880? Nothing is sticking out as modern terminology. It passed the test. We've checked the plausibility and consistency, the social coherence, the inference markers are all there, and the period language. This is now eligible, in my mind at least, for dramatizing as an encounter on the channel. So Creator's Corner is a window into the testing I'm doing for characters and the questions I ask. We had 7 initial questions for our William character, and this is a behind the scenes look at my analysis of a response to one of the questions. You may also be interested in another playlist where we stress test the characters by checking boundaries. See you out there.